Hello, everybody. Whoever is here, Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. And apology to the past 2 weeks has been was actually a bit hectic for me. I was on the road. I had a team offsite meeting in Paris, and that was very nice. As you maybe some of you are aware, you've been to Paris. It's actually very hot. I mean, for the past week or two, it was just the temperature. It just so happened when I was there this year, right, the summer, and it was hottest time, in almost like in history. Thankfully, I wasn't in the UK because UK apparently was even hotter. As you might know, I think it was like 40 degrees Celsius, which actually must be crazy. I don't think I've ever experienced naturally like 40 degrees Celsius or above 40. Or maybe I have, but maybe it was more like in the desert or something when it's going to Arizona. But I can't imagine like really humid and then 40 degrees. But anyway, it's been kind of an interesting time. And Fusnabo, thank you. Just saw it. Yeah, it's here. Oh, Fusnabo, you are in Oslo, right? Yeah, I can imagine Scandinavian countries must be quite nice right now. I mean, you're warm, but it's not uncomfortable, right? So anyway, so I was in Paris first, and it was temperature was like I said, not quite 40 Celsius. It was like 38, gotta be 38 or 39. When you walk on the street, you just start 35 in Oslo. Wow, that is hot, right? Isn't it? I mean, normally Oslo also you don't get it so hot, isn't it? Like, wow. Anyway, yeah, it's been kind of strange, and it's just really hot. And but I also heard, I think maybe the heat wave kind of shifting more to the east now. So the western part of Europe is not as intense with the heat, right? And I was actually in Barcelona last week. As you can see, this is T-shirt I got from there, JBCN. Actually, the site JBCN Conf. So yeah, it was Barcelona. Today is at 30ish. Oh, okay. Wow. So but I bet it's well 30. I think I can take it, right? And it's not very humid. I hope, right? I think that's the thing. Maybe if it's dry heat is okay, but if it's very humid, yeah, the air is really clean and nice. Yeah. Oh, really? So even next to the sea, you're very clean and nice. That's cool. That's very cool. And by the way, I will be in Oslo for Java Zone, and that will be in September, so early part of September. So yeah, if you are going Fusnabo, let me know. Or even if you are not, but maybe if you are near that Oslo Spectrum, you might know where that is, right? And I've been there once, and when I first was a developer advocate at IBM, I got a chance to help out at the booth, and so I was at the Spectrum, and I remember it was a short trip, right? 2 days, something like that, but it was very nice. And it was, I forgot when it was, maybe like back in, you know where that is. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that is very cool. So I can't remember exactly, but I have to find out. But I do remember it was easy too. Didn't I took like an airport shuttle train, and then from there it kind of brought me into the city, and it was very close to where the Oslo Spectrum is, and it's amazing too. Have you been there? How they set up the whole place for conference? It was, I think they used just kind of artificial partition, right, on the stand. So normally it would be like a big giant stadium, indoor stadium for sports, but they set it next to Central Station. Yeah, no wonder. I think I do recall it was quite easy to just get off the train and walk over. It's right where the that stadium is, and also my hotel. So everything was kind of like nearby. I remember it was very nice. I remember walking on the street. You feel very safe and everything. So it's very nice. So I'm looking forward to it. And of course, Java Zone 2 is known to be a very community focused type of conference, and it's just very nice. It has a nice atmosphere. I think that's the thing, right? A lot of the developer conference, especially if they are developer community driven, like Java users group driven, in general is very good because they're, you have vendors there, but the vendors, are not too overwhelming. So as if you're a technical person, you go in, you really can get some great sessions and great exposure to different new topics that maybe you don't work with every day. So that's the goal of having in person or even virtual conferences. But of course, in person is, to me, right, it's always, most of the time is much better because you get to meet people and talk with people. And then of course there is always good in Europe too, especially good coffee. They serve you at the conference, and little pastries and food. And Java Zone was like a non-stop supply of food, I remember. And it was very nice the last time I went in 2018. It was in September too. And they were serving all kinds of food, different ethnic types of food too. So not just like one kind, but different kinds. And also the ice cream. I think I talked with you, right? Food Snabble. They were serving ice cream that was actually made from, was it goat's milk? I think it's actually very different, but it's very tasty. I remember that. Anyway, it was good time. So I'm looking forward to that. And then after that, there's also Vox Days at Milan too. So I will be going there, and that's in September. So yes, I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm always very excited going to different conferences, and then it's just very nice. And last week, or not just last week, it's actually earlier this week, like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So for us, well, you're already Wednesday here. So, but it's already nighttime there in Barcelona. But JBCN, right? That's the Barcelona Java Users Group, put on a very nice conference too. And I think, to me, there's it's kind of interesting. Like these are like JBCN and Java Zone, all kinds, right? What are the ones? Yeah, they're like all of these Java based kind of driven events. They're not just about Java, I have to say, but I think it's just the traditional thing is started by or run by Java users group. So they keep kind of the Java kind of flavor to it. But I think in nowadays too, a lot of these conferences, we have topics in JavaScript, in mobile, maybe machine learning, all kinds, not just with Java. So that's a nice thing. But the thing is that because it's kind of run by users group, and I'm sure too other languages have also like user groups type of conferences. I think Python, right? There's also a huge like Python, even much bigger than a lot of these Java focused conference, right? What is it called? PyCon, right? Yeah, I heard it's just very nice. It's just very friendly, and it's even bigger. So which is nice. So anyway, talking about conferences. So I was at JBCN, and it was great, real great. And but it was hot, and it was also right by the Mediterranean Sea, right? Barcelona, of course, is kind of a seaport thing, and right by the sea there are beaches along the way. But of course, I was there for a conference for doing work, and I actually didn't bring any swimsuit or anything, but that's all right. I didn't get a chance to go any swimming or anything. But it was nice that the conference for speakers, they had a boat ride for us. It was a little bit rough on the sea. It was a little too choppy, but the overall thing though was nice. It was just nice get together. And then it's kind of like before conference, you get to meet other speakers, and not everybody could go, but for the most part, a lot of speakers were there. Some of them went swimming and all these things, and that was actually very nice. I really had a good time, and maybe that's why part of my job, even though right with being advocates, you travel everywhere. I mean, travel is never easy because you have to pack and unpack and all these things, and not the same as home where you can have the same thing. But for me though, I just enjoy the fact that I can go to different places, see different things, talk with different people, right? Mainly, and there are also different folks who came up and asked questions after my talk. And I was actually talking about event streaming, about introducing Apache Pulsar. That actually got a nice feedback too, and folks were happy to learn about something new. And I think that's the goal. And of course, too, again, right, when I talk about Apache Pulsar, I wanted to actually kind of really drawn to it too, because it is quite a sophisticated thing, right? And I'm sure, well, Fusnabo, you work with Ivan and with Kafka, manage Kafka, but DataStax has a managed Pulsar platform, although things are still growing, don't get me wrong. And then DataStax, we have managed Cassandra, which I've been sharing with you a lot. So let me kind of go back to there, but let me kind of go back here, right? This is the let me kind of shrink myself so then I don't kind of have too big a where am I? Okay, shrink myself so I don't block it. So that's the Astra DB. So again, right? If you want to try out, I always like to share, and I feel that I want to share things when they don't cost any money, which is the nice thing. So let me kind of share with you again. If some of you are new here, wanting to give that a try, it doesn't ask you for any credit card, so that's a nice thing. So up top there, astra.datastacks.com. That's where you go. You can go there, and when you see the front page, and you can just, if you haven't registered, you can register and just basically your email address and not too much and just a few things. And then without credit card, doesn't ask you for credit card, you can get to this console. And then, so that's the nice thing. So again, right, this is the Astra DB Cassandra platform. And so if you want to play around with the database over here, you can create database. This is essentially NoSQL Cassandra. If you're interested, just to experiment with it, right? And it's all running in the cloud. So, and you don't need to pay a cent for that, which is how nice, right? And so you can define your database. For example, I call it demos and then call it some key space. That's the requirement, right? You need to give some key space. Let's say this, and then I want it to run, I'm in North America, but if you're in, South America, Europe, or Asia, you can choose your region accordingly. And then, click on it, and that's it, right? And I can just say North America, and then I'm in the Midwest, so I say Central in Iowa, and then click create. Now, I already have created a couple databases, so I won't do it now. But if you're interested, right, give this a try, and you won't regret. I mean, at least look around and see what happens. So let's say over here, that was earlier too when I did this, right? So you got your database and then all the key spaces. And the nice thing also is that if you want to have some data too, you can actually go to settings. Let me see which one. Was it CDC? No. I wanted to show you where you can get some test data to play with here. I think connect. Is it over here or CQL console? Okay. Well, you can also play around with it. And is it settings? Oh, I'm sorry. Why am I doing this? Okay, let me kind of unhide. Let me hide this so it won't block it. So it is actually. I realize it's kind of small. So, oops. I am not doing a good thing in here. Okay, let me do this. Actually, my cursor is not. Okay, here we go. So I kind of get it a little bigger in here so you can see better. So if you go up there, load data. So this part I think I really like too, because very often if you go to anything free, you're like, well, what do I do now? But the fact is you can actually play around with some data that we give you, right? We give you a chance to play. These are all like playground data. So no need to worry about anything like worry about any of the, GDPR or any kind of privacy. These are like all kind of test data. And you can actually, if you have your own data, you can provide yourself a CSV file, comma separated file with some data too. You can do that. And it actually, if you click on here, right over here, the docs will give you an example of how to use this data loader and give you example of how do you create your CSV file, right? So it gives you these, example like that. And then if you don't want to create your own CSV file, guess what? You can actually use one of our sample data set. This one is a restaurant locations or using a movies and TV shows. So that's kind of nice, right? So you can immediately play around with some of these data and trying out the managed Cassandra as you're working on it. So this is just your bucket policy of these things, right? Over here, all of these things, and then you configure. So pretty much you can actually do that. Maybe if I say restaurant location, and then you can do next. And so you can see that all of these data, right, the location of all of these restaurants in different states and things like that. And you can kind of take a look. Table name is Chipotle stores. I don't know if Chipotle is a kind of Mexican kind of fast food eatery, right, in the US. I'm not sure if it's also outside of the US, but if you're based in the US, you're familiar with it. So it gives you a list of all of these addresses of this, fast food place. And then you can just say next. And then I guess then it should come next. Why is it not going? Oh, maybe select partition key. So, okay, so I say state, location, something, right? Clustering column, address, something like that. And I'm all good. Then I can just say next. And then in this page, in this one, you can tell it load to which database you want, right? And which key space like that. So it gets, to be quite nice, to be able to have some free data that you can play with right off the bat without you worrying about creating all these data. So you can immediately go load the data and then play around with different features that are available on this particular console, right? So that's the idea. But let's say I don't want to actually do it now. So I'll leave this exercise up to you if you want to do it. But the thing is too, we want to talk about the trade match engine. And so we're going to be working with streams. And last week though, or actually 2 weeks ago when I first started this project, I was just kind of thinking of it on the fly. So a bit, as such, I do have to agree. Sometimes I just may not have enough time to have very deep dive. It's more, some of these are just quick project that I'm playing around with. So let's go back to reviewing, right, this particular toy engine that I have in mind. And again, right, if you have worked with any kind of trade engine or any kind of trade matching, or it doesn't actually have to be trade too. I think there are other types of applications systems that you need to somehow do certain types of matching, and there are rules to say what is considered a match, right? So in this particular case, I just happen to be choosing a trade matching. So trading is like you buying stocks, right? Buying, if you want to buy more sophisticated types of financial instruments, right? They call it, kind of more like the professional jargon, right? Instruments. But these are actually, what are the instruments? They are actually represented, for example, if they are stocks and they're represented by stock symbols. So if you want to buy stocks like IBM, right, there's simply, right, the stock symbol would be IBM. And I think there are different classes. Whoops. I have my windows open and then suddenly something fell. So my pictures fell, picture frame. So it was kind of strong, the wind. Okay. All right. So just want to put things back. Okay. Sorry about that. So okay, so it's nice, got a nice breeze now. I mean, we are pretty hot in here too. Let me see, we're 80 degrees, so not too bad, but it's feel a little bit hot. It's got a nice draft coming in. Anyway, so let's go back to this trade matching toy engine. It's basically anytime you do any kind of matching, you need two sides, right? You need at least, right? If you need, well, kind of for simplicity, we only want to do two sides, but I suppose you could do some sort of like matching in which you have more than two sides, but I think that can get quite difficult to do, isn't it? You need to be managing multiple sides, multiple feet, and then look for matching between all three. I think that's possible, but can't think of any example. But like I said, two sides are typical in a stock market, kind of buy and sell. So if you look too, it's basically these are financial instruments, right? These are stock symbol. I was already talk about that, and what to do, right? Let's say stock symbol. I found actually a stock symbol that has my name is Mary. Just go search too. I think if you do a Google search on like searching for stock symbol and search, you come up with very interesting names. And like I said, out of curiosity, I searched and then I found there was actually an agricultural product firm is actually using this stock symbol Mary. But anyway, it's actually not a very big, doesn't appear to be a very big company with a lot of quantity of the amount of stocks too. But it's kind of interesting to know. And then okay, so then it's usually too, right? When you do matching, are always when the market opens, you have some people that want to buy and then some people that want to sell. So these are the traders, right? We're going there to trade. And so now why kind of I'm thinking of using event streaming is because in a trading environment, as some of you may be aware, right? We have like market makers. These are folks that inject prices into the pipeline and into maybe buy and then sell. And now there are different rules. I'm not that familiar because I'm not a trader, but I'm aware of the idea is you can pump uh, prices right into the different either buy or sell, and these are also called market makers. Because why? Because sometimes you may not be getting a lot of buyers or sellers right from the public or from register kind of qualified traders, and then basically too the market makers are trying to generate noise. They are, think of like a playmaker, right? So you want to generate these activities, so you do you have to, you can inject prices, up and down. I think there are certain rules. Like I said, I'm not familiar with how they can do it, but they want to inject prices to kind of stimulate the market, so to get people wanting to buy and sell and like that. So usually too, right, the rule is you want to buy low, right, lowest price you want to buy, and then sell high. If I'm a seller, I want to sell it at the highest bid that I can have. So that's the idea. So that's why too I'm thinking, right, going back to the event streaming thing as such, right? Event stream, we're talking about a continuous stream of data coming in. So basically, you can have different buyers. Same buyer can be doing different prices too, even within the same time frame. And we want to be able to inject all of these prices, one on a buy, one topic. We can kind of now go back to more doing events, kind of a pops up type of approach. A pub is producer. We want to try to produce, right, data. So whoever comes in to the buying side, we have a buy topic. So the buy will kind of pump all these prices into the buy topic. And then the sell side will also have another stream of data coming in, from the selling side. It's also another kind of data pipeline. So the idea is that we want to be able to then have data coming in from both sides, and we want to be able to do matching. Now, there's actually rules too about, how do you determine a match, right? You can't say, well, within, the whole day, you can have many prices up and down going through. You don't want to have the window be so wide, like 8 hours, when the market opens and close like that. You want to kind of maybe I think usually the buy sell are maybe like within a 10-minute window. So during which you can have a lot of prices coming in as buy and then a lot of them coming in as sell. Then at that point, you want to be able to do the matching. The match would be, of course, there could be exact match too, but I think whoever gets in first will be the one that will be considered match. Or if you don't have exact match, then you want to have the lowest kind of a deviation, right, between the two prices, the spread, I think it's called. And so we can kind of set this kind of rule, and that's what I'm thinking. It's actually doing this kind of trade matching algorithms can be quite an interesting exercise. It's more, kind of, I have to admit, I didn't do that when I worked for the Mercantile Exchange here in Chicago. I was more helping out with the market making. Like we're actually, if you were here, I think that previous session when I was doing this, I was actually helping out with, we were anticipating, right, every morning, there's this particular firm would send us all of the prices, through a socket. So a socket. So we just, so my program actually was just a script, it was actually interestingly was using Perl, that was back in 2005 or 2006 when I did that. So just Perl script to basically read from the socket all of these prices. And then from there, then we put it into our database like that. And that's how I did it. But I didn't do the matching part because there was another team that was doing matching. So, okay, so that's that. Now, so that's the thing is that I'm thinking, well, the matching could come in as into a topic too. We can simply have the data comes in and then we publish them into a topic, and it should be really fast too. And so in that case, right, we're kind of assuming one market maker per topic, but we can actually have multiple market makers too, because very often you have many firms. The firms are authorized to be market makers to generate, stimulate prices going up and down and all of these things. So we can do that too. Now, I'm not going to get like way too complicated in here. I mean, after all, we just want to kind of get the topics going for buy and sell coming in real fast. And then we want to immediately kind of analyze the prices between the two topics and then find matches within the different time windows. Now, as such, over here, if you look, So how to send in prices to the data pipelines, right? So the implementation is that we will do it command line. So we can use a bash script, and also using also the Pulsar client. So as such, right, I'm talking about Pulsar. Now back to Pulsar. If you are new in my stream, let me kind of do a bit of review too, just so I just have to assume, because this isn't a class that you come in consistently every week. You can be dropping by, so I have to repeat some things. So what is Pulsar? So I'm like going to use Pulsar. Pulsar is a unified messaging system and also essentially a streaming platform. So in order to do messaging, right, there is traditionally, we always have what we call like streaming, and that technique is basically represented by publish and subscribe type of mechanism, right? Those are the semantics, the mechanism. Publisher is like producing the data, and they produce all the data, and that's what we want to do. We want to immediately, kind of publish it to a topic. And publisher too, it sends the data, but the publisher doesn't care about who is receiving it. It's really up to those who are interested, the subscribers. If I'm interested in it, I will subscribe to it. So here it is. So this is what the program is going to do. We have, simulate a market maker that publish all of the data to the buy topic, let's say. And then our client, in this case, will then subscribe to this topic. So whenever their data comes in, we'll fetch the data from the topic. And immediately, too, then we can, kind of like fetch all of the data in. And then, and then it has also the timestamp that's associated with it. So then once we get the data we can write a Java program to say, okay, we start time, let's say, 8, in the morning, and between 8 and 9, let's say 60 minutes, we will divide up like a window of every 10 minutes, right? We will analyze the buy and sell, and then we'll pick the match within every 10-minute window. And that's the goal of this toy engine. And again, in reality, it could have more complex rule, right? Over here, if you kind of take a look into it. Okay, actually, let me kind of talk about it first. So I talk about the implementation, right? The implementation, we're going to use a bash, just use scripting. From script, we're going to utilize the Pulsar client, right? So again, I talk about Pulsar client. That's the one that we're going to interact with the Pulsar, the runtime, to kind of be the client and produce data to the topic. Next phase of the project actually is that rather than doing command line, maybe we can do a JavaScript program that essentially we will pump data in, or kind of we can have maybe interactive kind of also, right, like another interactive market maker that kind of goes through a GUI interface, like a simple one that say, okay, I have this price coming in, or maybe I'm representing a trading firm that I'm taking orders from my customers, and they come in with a buy price of 100 for currently what's listed this morning, open up at 89, and willing to buy it a little higher. But it's actually, in general, you want to buy lower. So, but that's the key. Anyway, so GUI too, we can do another GUI interface. GUI interface will be, again, represent actually customers going through the trading firm. Okay, so now data will get sent to the topics accordingly, right? The 2 topics will be buy and sell. And then we get into the matching part, which is on the toy level, not for real. And the rules is that we're just going to do market order. Now, as such, if you're not familiar yet with trading, just a little bit of background. There are different types of order too in trading, right? So again, I'm not expert, but I'm aware of normally what we call is market order. Market order is basically based on the current market price. So basically, if I do buy and sell, we're just going to assume that. Because why? Because you can also have other order types, such as, what is it called? Stop order. Stop order is essentially saying that, well, I'm going to buy this, and I am only willing to buy it. I'm willing to pay up to a certain price. So then I have to give the price that I'm willing to stop bidding at, essentially. That's a stop order. So it gets a bit more work too when you're trying to do matching, because you have to look at this price, then you have to look behind this order type. If it is a market order, you don't care, then you are authorized to buy. That's actually a bit more direct and straightforward. But if it's a stop order, then you have to kind of take a look. Okay, the price is at this, but is the the buying type, right? The order type is it if it's stop order at a price that's lower than or higher than that stop price, then it doesn't qualify for the match, right? So that's just an example. So then in this particular case for this toy engine version one, we're just gonna use market order. It just makes it easier. Otherwise, we got to do a lot more kind of rules while we're analyzing the price. So okay. Oh, here we go. I forgot that actually I said transaction must occur within 2 minutes. Maybe we can do actually. Let's do a five. Let's kind of pretend we're marketing or trading market. We can do it. 1 hour is open, and then we try to do the trade match every 5 minutes. Let's do 5 minutes window. So then we should get 12 windows and should be able to find 12 matches in there. Okay, so here, right? Let's not do five. Let's do five, and then each 5 minute window is fixed. It's basically the toy part. This is what I call, because in reality, it's kind of got a larger window, but we just want to do five, just for the fun of it. So let's then say within the 5 minutes. I don't know why I changed it to five today. I forgot I said two last time, but it's just because it's kind of make your processing like less in this case. Again, it's a toy experimentation, right? And reality is probably not this like this. So, and then okay, so price difference has to be the lowest. That will be considered the match when the match is done. As soon as a buy-sell pair is matched, we print out the match. Okay, so it should be relatively not way too complicated for a toy version of this matching, right? Okay, so let's do it. Last time, in fact, I think I remember now. Now, can you believe sometimes after 2 weeks, I just cannot remember things because there's just too much stuff going on. But in any event, let's not worry about that part. But I will bring up my script, right? Let's kind of work with that. Let me kind of look for my. I usually when I do. Okay, let me kind of do this first. Let me kind of bring up my Emacs and normally just use a text editor. I mean, I can do it IntelliJ too, but sometimes it's just too much stuff, right? I think like Phil Snabel said too, sometimes you do these, kind of a fancy IDE, you kind of have all the bells and whistles and it just doesn't, I mean, there's a certain amount of convenience to it, but the thing is, we don't always need the convenience. For example, just write a script, we can just use a regular editor, such as VI or Emacs or any other thing, right? I think VS Code maybe something, right? I think even VS Code is getting more complicated these days, isn't it? So, all right, let me kind of look for my thing. I can't trade engine, right? Yeah, trade engine, right? Oh, you know what? I actually forgot to. Okay, here we go. Let me kind of bring this over here. Okay. Okay, I think you know what it was. My machine crashed, and I didn't. Oh, that was yeah 2 weeks ago, and add price dot shell. So what I'll do is I think I can't recover it. I don't know if I can recover. Or maybe this one. Ah, there we go. So I can right this one. Actually, let me get rid of that one. Oops. Okay, here we go. So, okay, so at least I think that's the nice thing about Emacs. It does keep a backup copy, right, using the hash and then the file name between hash, two hash characters. So, okay, so here we go. Now I remember. Oops. And I just wanted to do a bash script in which I'm going to enter the input, right? It's basically I'm going to enter all of the prices from the command line. When I'm done, I press enter. This is the script. It's called add price .sh, right? So, and this is what I do: enter my price data and then read the price, and then I think can I do it? I think price. Is that how we do bash? Price, yes. Okay, well, why don't I do that? Let me save it first. Oh, I'm saving it to the. Okay, so save it to the real copy now. That one. So, okay, let me see if that works first. Basically, just start with. I think is it. I think that it is still small. So let me just do it like that. Okay. Oh, you know what? I can also actually. Oh, actually, you know what? I actually don't need this one. Let me. All right. Well, you know what? Let me kind of do this again. All right. And this is my shell. And then let me go back to my add price. Add price. All right. This is my script. Actually, let me do. Actually, this is. Okay. Oh. All right. Okay. Here. I have my bash script. And then I just wanted to. Okay. Okay, like this. All right. So there might be, yeah, that's the only thing is right now with Bash, I think the some of the control characters are displayed like Control G, for example, things like that. But that's okay for now. Okay. This okay, so now we have our add price.sh in here. Or actually, you know what? If I don't need this, okay, let's not use it because it's too confusing. Okay. Actually, how do I clear it? No. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, here we go. Right. So why is it so strange? I do an ls. Oh, it's not. It's just the scrolling. Okay, so I have my ad price. All right, so now, yeah, it's interesting. Oh, so this is interesting. I'm trying to read, but it's actually I'm reading until EOF. But why is it exit out of that? You know what? Let me just use my regular shell to do it. My bash to do it. Let me bring that up. Let me do this one thing. Let me. All right, here we go. Let me then not use that. It's always something kind of goofy. Okay, here we go. So let me see. Does the is the color coming out okay? Yeah. Okay, it is. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Let me go to my. Let me go to my trade engine. This is how I do it. Okay. All right. So if you look at it, I have make this an executable, so I should be able to say that. Oh, so it doesn't. Oh, maybe I'm. Oh, because I'm doing bash. All right. Let me do this. Okay. So why is it so funny? Here I am. I'm saying bash, and then until this. Oh, maybe. Let me try this. I don't know whether sometimes the greater than equals to simple. Oh, I can save it. So, all right, so this is okay, but the thing is, when I say read, the read shouldn't it be like that? Or maybe I really shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I probably need to do a quick lookup just to see my bash. I used to do more bash than I am now, obviously. So let me kind of take a look. Bash reference cheat sheet. How about that? So I need to uh, basically get. I need to get the command line input. Introduction, functions, parameters, loops. Okay, that's fine. Functions, conditionals, arrays. Let me see. Let me see if anybody is talking with me. I'm sorry. Oh, Fusnabo. Oh, Bash is too hard for you. Well, I know it's not the most kind of welcoming thing. Let's put it that way. But I've done it before because sometimes, right, you're in situation in which you have to write it, because that's the thing, or it used to be, right, you need to write all these scripts, so then it drives all your automation in your group or something. So that's why. But I'm supposed to, why is it, I'm supposed to do the command line reading input. This is what I'm looking for. See, I thought that's what I could do, like echo. Oh, maybe dash n. What does dash n do? Okay, let me see. That might be why. Okay, dash n. So maybe dash n is like pausing, like blocking, right? So okay, let me try it. Maybe echo. Oh, maybe here. Dash n. Maybe pause it and then that. Okay, let me see. I don't know. Just give it a try. Okay, still not liking it. Okay, something that I'm doing is I'm missing. Okay, all right, that's fine. And oh yeah, okay, because so I'm just gonna bring my current directory in the path. You should be able to find. Okay, all right. So still, it's not blocking somehow, right? It's supposed to wait. So there must be something I am. Or is it like read? Read? Do I need to do read? Let me see. Read. What is it? Read, no, and then no. What are the two columns for? External? No. Seashell? Okay, just like that. Not external. Okay. Not sure what the star asterisk means. Commands marked no under external do exist externally, but are implemented as scripts using a built-in command of the same name. Oh, okay. But the thing is, though, how do I do read and then have it block, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. But okay. And did you say something? Oh, you said something else. I'm sorry. Thought you said double dipping for a moment. Double dipping? Double dipping? What does it mean? Did I say that? Oh, double dipping. Double asterisk, right? That's what I'm saying. That's funny. Okay, so that's what you were saying. Double dipping. Okay. What I meant was double asterisk. Yeah, so yeah, okay. Anyway, so you need to rewatch that Seinfeld episode. Okay, yeah, okay, then that's fine. Yeah, you have Seinfeld. Yeah, or no, wait. You mean double dipping? You're referring to a Seinfeld episode? That is so interesting. Then I'm not aware of which one you're referring to, but that's interesting. So, okay, I need to now find out how I can actually do a read and block. I wonder if it's dash n. Oh, you know what? I'll have to do maybe like dash. Maybe it's a global kind of thing. Do not use. Okay. It is actually kind of hard, right? Sometimes you try to look for some quick answers. It's not very easy. If I say dash n, okay, let me see what. Okay, that's funny. Something that used to be. It's kind of funny. It's just too many things to remember in life, and then you just kind of do not remember. I used to know all of these things well, and now I do not recall. I've done it, right? Just reading from your terminal. And so, what is the one to use, right? And okay, maybe I should really kind of go and search. Okay, okay, you said George Costanza double dips chips in a sauce and chaos burgers out. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one, but that's interesting. So you were referring to double dipping for that. Okay. Let me kind of search again. Okay, my fault. Let me kind of go and say, okay, reading input, just one character. Maybe read dash n. Okay, let me try that. Okay. I should really look for. Let me see. If that blocks, that means it's okay. Ah, I think it's something not right. Read price, invalid number. Uh, dash line 3. Okay, so something is not right, right? Oh, is expecting a number? Wait, okay, let me kind of look into that here. Oh, how many character? Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. Let me kind of do that, right? Okay, let's see. No, let me do that. Like let's do one. That's interesting. Like it just tells me how many. No, actually, no. I think I'm wrong. I think I think I cannot remember is what it is. So read. How do I read from? Let me do that. Okay. Bash. How to read from standard in. Oh, okay. How to read from a file a standard input in Bash. Stack Overflow. But sometimes that's the thing. If I look at other things, that it might be no. Okay. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. I just wanted to user input bash scripting tutorial. There we go. Hello, who am I talking to? Read var name. Okay, now it should be so read is correct, but if I want to read in a loop is what I'm doing, right? So I must be not doing it right in here. Um, all right, so I think I'm actually right, but I probably shouldn't have done that. So let's say if I just do this first, right? Just read the price, right? So there we go. Okay, so I'll just say one, and that's it. Okay, so now I can also immediately kind of check too. Okay, so that's good. So that's well. So after all, I was correct, and but it's just that I not doing this correctly. So basically, I can do that, but I actually want to do a loop. Okay, so silly me. So I should be able to say while. Um, okay, now how do I do this in Bash? Right. So doing a while. Okay, so user input is like that, and multiple lines of user input. is one of my us reading from standard in. I should be using bash script to while loop while reading standard in. Okay. There we go. This is what I wanted to do. It's basically this guy create a new file and add the appended script to it. We have been using the while loop to read the text by a user from a terminal and print it. The script is named with the slash dev slash standard in as the very first parameter. Okay, actually, that's not what I would need right now. Okay, okay, so maybe I should actually think of this first. Is what is it that I'm trying to do, right? This is funny. What am I? How come this is so funny? My interface kind of got changed for a second because I was trying to chat, and so I thought I lost you. But okay, so let's do that. Okay, so here's the thing. I just wanted to kind of go back to my thing now. So I thought I could just do a loop. And so basically, that's the idea, right? I want to be able to simulate like a buyer pumping data into my pipeline from the command line. And then when it's done, it do an enter, right? That will stop it. So once I actually read in the data, I want to be able to publish it to the topic right away. It is what I'm trying to do. Okay. But first of all, maybe let's do this first. Okay. One step at a time, right? Because I haven't done this before. So let's say we just want one price. And then once we get the price for the command line, we want to publish it to the topic. Okay. After this succeeds, then we can go ahead and do multi-line input too. So let's do that. So, okay. So this is good. So let's say this is something that an interface that we give to a market making firm. So telling them you have a price that you want to kind of pump into the system, enter that price, and we only allow you one price at a time when you run this program. Obviously, it's not the solution. This is just a test. We want to test one first. So this is just a baby step. Okay. All right. So at least we know, right? We run this. This is what our market maker gets, and then say, okay, we want to buy this stock called Mary. We want to give price of 18. So okay, so this is what it is. So this is good. So once we read this, let's do this. Step. So let's see. Step one, prompt for one price input for the buy side. This is the one. Okay. Buy price. Buy side price data. One per line. No, actually, that's what we'll do. Just enter your buy side price data. Buy price. Only one now. All right, let's test it. 17. Okay, good. So we know that we know it reads it. Okay, now step two. Take the price and inject into, or I should say, send it to the pulsar by topic. Okay, so this is the part. That's why I'm saying that let's do it one at a time, because that will kind of kind of be better than doing too much and then can't even get the basic thing work. It always starts with one. So let's do that. So we know it works from the command line, and at this time, let's go back to here. go back to my data stacks. Now, what is I'm doing now is to look at our topic. I think I created the topic already, but let's take a look. I think I was using my stream MG Twitch tenant one. Okay, okay, great. So this is my topic, MG Twitch tenant one. Oh, this is my tenant first, and this is how I can connect, right? I connect using this broker URL, pulsar plus SSL. And let's see, topic. I actually do the self first too. That's all right. And then let's also then create another topic called trade dash buy. Okay. So we created one as a persistent type. So there's a difference between persistent topic and non-persistent, right? So persistent topic as such, right? It persists, right? It gets stored. Unlike, if it's non-persistent, it's basically it times out and then it will be gone. And even the whole topic would be gone too. And that's the kind of rule for kind of persistent versus non-persistent topic, kind of quickly explaining it. So, but let's do persistent first, because like I said, if non-persistent, if there's no activity after a certain point in time, essentially if there's no subscription, then it will auto destroy itself. So we don't want that. So let's do that. Let's add a topic called trade. And it's a persistent one. We add the topic. Okay, so this is the one, right? Trade buy is what we want. So if you kind of click on it, right? So now as such too, about topics, they are interesting. You basically can have what is called partition, right? So you can have topics that are being partitioned by different, like partition into different topics too. So you kind of, in that case too, you kind of trying to increase the response time, because then sometimes if you have topics is all in one place, then maybe it gets to be too busy, right? And if you partition it off, then it will increase kind of throughput too. If you get too many requests, coming in, then they kind of get spread out. Is essentially that's what it is. So, okay. So now we created this trade buy in here. Now that reminds me, last time I was trying to do a Pulsar client by publishing data to this topic on the command line, doing the Pulsar client. So let's kind of try that out. Last time I ran into issue because of how the command wasn't constructed correctly. So let's kind of take a look now over here, right? All right, so we get our trade engine good, and let me kind of go back to this guy. Oh no, actually, this guy, or which guy is that? Here we go. Okay, that's what it was. So it was having issue. Now you realize that it's good that actually it gets saved. So this actually was our. Here we go. Actually, over here. Actually, let me go back to here. I was actually later able to. Oops. Actually, it would be this one. Okay, let's just for kind of stepping through kind of slowly. It's basically we want to run this command call. Well, actually use the CLI Pulsar client on the command line, and then URL is basically we should take it then from from here. Let's go back. You know what I'll do? I'll kind of switch this around now that this kind of gets a bit challenging in here. So, all right, here. This one. Okay, here we go. It makes it a little bit easier now. I got my my console right on the same screen in here. So then we can look this up. Topic connect. So if you go to connect, that's the only thing right now. Let me shrink it. This guy a little bit. Shrink it back. Yeah, it's okay. So this is better. I hope. Yeah, this. I think you should be able to see it too. Okay. So here we go. We want to take the broker from here. or actually use the copy too. That's easiest. This is our URL for the broker. All right, so this is our broker. And then, as you can see, last time was a little bit confusing because, okay, first of all, you get your Pulsar client. It's got those options, right? They're called Pulsar, the command options. And then, or actually your client options. And then you get your command. So these are URL here, dash dash URL is a Pulsar client option. So I specify correctly over here. The next thing we want, also, we will need to specify the auth plugin too. So now that's actually another thing too. I was talking to the engineering team, and they were just saying that instead of kind of typing everything in, we can actually go to the Pulsar client directory. And by the way, yes, and before I forget too, right? Pulsar client, how do you get it, right? So if you haven't got that too, I'm sorry, apologize, right? Let's also look at that. Pulsar client, Pulsar clients, okay? So you go to, basically you go to the client directory and then download. Wait, where is it? Where is my Pulsar client? I probably miss it. Oh, here we go. I'm so sorry. You can actually do the command line client is what I'm looking at. Huh, this is rather interesting. Let me kind of go back here. Go to Pulsar clients or Pulsar command line, I should say. Actually, I am so sorry. What I'm looking for is not the language, not the client toolkit. I'm looking for the command line client. Is what I'm looking for. Administration, is that right? Huh. All right. So let me do this one thing. Let me go back. I thought I was trying to look for Pulsar and command. Pulsar command line tools. There we go. So that's different than the client library for you to develop things, right? These are command line interactive kind of client over here. So, okay, so this has all the instructions, but there should be a place where you can actually download it too. Uh, these are just reference. All right, this is just a reference. Where do I download it? Sorry. All right, let me kind of do this first. Oops, wrong one, wrong one. Yeah, where's it? Okay, let me kind of give that to you first while you are here. If you want to kind of take a look. Okay, so Pulsar inline info. Okay, so I gave you that link, right? So if you go to pulsar.apache.com org, docs, reference, tools, Pulsar client. So that's where you can get to this set of all the command line tools. There are different ones too. So there is, it will get install. It can be run from the bin directory of your install Pulsar package. So actually it comes with it. So which one was it that I have to, I thought I had to install them separately. I think that's the Pulsar admin. And just to kind of give you an idea, Pulsar admin is actually a separate client, separate command line client. The reason is that Pulsar client will communicate with the Pulsar broker and everything using the Pulsar. As you can see, right, the URL over here is Pulsar plus SSL. So it's the different Pulsar protocol. It's also based on TCP/IP, but then for admin client, it actually uses HTTP. That's why there are two separate command line client for it. So that's what it is. So, but what we need, in order to work with our command line tool, we want to use Pulsar dash client. So this one actually comes with it. I think if you let me kind of go back in here. Let me actually go to another place. And by the way, if you are, I think this has been released too. If you're into Cassandra, actually our team too, we also have been kind of provided you an extra DB shell too. So that's something new too. If you're interested, let me know. I can give this link to you. So get the extra client. I think it's been released. So let me double check. Okay, so here, let me kind of go back into here. Okay, no, you know what? Let me just kind of do that. And yeah, okay. All right, and I got another thing over there. Okay, and here we go. And oh, really? Tools. So okay, so it's not a separate. It's bundled up with the whole Pulsar Apache Pulsar install. And I apologize. What I was trying to look for. I thought was over here in download. I thought there's a separate like command line tools, but it's already bundled up. So if you install the main thing here, right, this main Pulsar, this tar file or the installer, if you have binary or if you get the source, everything, the bin directory already has the Pulsar client. Okay, so that's good. So I apologize. I was kind of spending time thinking that I should give you the link as to how you can install the Pulsar client. But once you install Apache Pulsar, then Pulsar client should be in your path. The install directory / bin will have the Pulsar admin and the Pulsar client and the daemon and perf and all these bookkeeper as well. So if you're interested too into the bookkeeper, right, Apache bookkeeper project, which we use for persistent storage for storing all of the distributed logging messages. So bookkeeper too is also in here too. So all right, so apology, let me kind of go back to here. So in order to run, using Pulsar client, then you also need the auth plugin. Now, where do we get all of these things, right? So if you've been following, if you go back, right, to our Astra console, and you should be able to download your client.conf file. The client.conf file will contain all of these needed kind of parameters and their arguments, all of these configuration setting by default already is bundled up inside this client.conf. Now, the thing is, that's right. What I wanted to do is basically go over here. I think there's this one, right? Conf. If you go to the Apache Pulsar conf directory, there's a client conf. Okay, so this is the client conf. So you should also be able to plug in all of these things into here. So then when you run your Pulsar client, it should already be able to find this too. Somehow I thought you need to specify them on the command line. But of course, on the command line, if you specify that, then it would be overriding what you have in the conf file. So if you don't want to type that all in, you can actually plug in what you will get in your installation, plug it into your client.conf under your Apache Pulsar /conf directory. So, but the thing is too, let's say I just want to show it to you, right? So again, go to the tools, Apache Pulsar installation. I found out I am blocking you. So sorry. So over here, and then I am blocking you too because I'm just like behind. Okay, let me kind of do this. So in that directory, actually it's just in this directory here too, as you can see, right here. So this is where the all of the configurations being stored. So okay. And the thing is, let's kind of go back here. Like I said, we can also type this in too. So actually, you know what? Off is actually this guy here. I just take it from the last time is this one. Again, where you get it is you can download your client.conf. It has all of these things too. And then param, the param is essentially the key value pair. But the thing is, you can get it from, is essentially just the token and then the long kind of encrypted string is what we need from here. And I'm just getting it from my previous usage here. Okay, so once you have that, then you should be able to then do, let's say, produce your messages, right? So we can run the produce. And then the messages. Hello, Twitch friends. Like this, right? Oh, okay. So now, then the next thing is would be your topic name. So topic name is actually, like I said, it's I already done this. It's actually topic name is here. I'm going to go into here. This we need the full name. In this case, we want the full name, which has the persistent colon, and then my tenant name slash the hierarchy, right? The default namespace, and then the name of my topic. So I can copy it here. So this is essentially, okay, let me kind of, okay, here we go. Again, okay, this is the full command. It would be pulsar client dash 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 URL. This is the broker URL, and then the auth plugin, and then the auth param. And then the name actually that I want to execute, the command is produce. I want to do the producer, and then messages, some string, right? And then the name of the topic. So this should do it. Whoops, pulsar client not found. Guess what? Because I haven't got that in my path. And then I know is in my tools. Actually, all right. Something it doesn't like. Oh, of course. So I was doing export with the dollar. Okay, so now it should be in here. Now I should be able to run pulsar client, blah, 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 all of these things. Okay. Oh, something else it doesn't like it. Exception, asking description for unknown command. Now what? It's like, yeah, I feel like I actually got it to run, very sure, but something I probably forgot. Okay, let me kind of scroll back because after last time I was able to test it and then get it working. See here, is actually able to do it now. Okay, let's try it again. Let's do that again. It's essentially the same command we're trying to do, right? But the messages would be shorter in here and trade by. So, all right. I mean, it's like just in case there's something when I'm typing in is wrong. There we go. See, it's working now. All good. So, as you can see, connected to server, right? And then now just a note too. I know that if you were watching right earlier, it came in with some warning. That was something I raised it up, but nobody could kind of answer me. But as it turns out, I found out it's just warning message. So even I did not pursue that. But there might be a reason to kind of figure it out too. Something to do with DNS server address stream providers. I think it's because I'm running on an M1 Apple Mac laptop. I think there's something in there that it doesn't, with Netty, the resolver with the DNS, it doesn't seem to be working right, but it seems like it's just warning. So then because too is that I notice the next thing I know is connected to server. Once it's connected, and as you can see, right, it's starting the pulsar producer perf with config. All of these things kind of like get all kicked in. And then all of these, right, the client config, all of these things. And then it shows that I'm connected to the server again, connected through proxy to target broker here. So that's all good. And then creating producer on here too. Okay. And then all of these fail. Okay, now there's another warning too. It basically is about the JNI. It cannot load the circ JNI library. So it goes back to Java-based CRC32C provider, which is okay. This is, again, a warning. And then basically it's all good. You close it, and it closed the producer. But it did say one message is successfully produced. So that's the good thing. Now, how do we kind of make sure that it works, right? Without a subscriber first. So let's go into our buy trade. Let's see. Okay. So we know that it works. Message, we just produced one, and data is only a small one. It just says test, right? We did something like just with test one, just 72 bytes with the payload, small payload and everything. Storage is 87 bytes. So we know that it works, right? There's no subscription right now, but let's say we can add a subscription in here too. Let's try this. I haven't actually done it interactively. So let's say manual sub one, something like that. Do a manual subscription one. Okay, and so I add something in here. Peak message, position 1. Message not found. Okay, that's fine, because let's see, let's do that. We can actually do that. Let's produce this again. So again, the same thing. Let's say this time, let's say, let's do a loud hello. How about that? All right, now let's do the peak. Here we go. See, we got it. Okay, so that's good. We know it works now. As you can see, right, the peak only kind of exists for just a little bit. Now, as you can see, over here too, these are like, these are hex. And then actually it does print out the string hello. So that is very good. So that's very cool. Okay, so now the next thing what we want to do, right, back to our, now we know this command works. So let's go back to our my thing over here. Now, okay, as soon as we did that, you can see, right, it was 72, and now we did another test, also like 5 characters, for that test string, so 144 and 2 messages. And over here is 82, so now it should be 174. So it works. So we kind of did a manual subscription, but of course, programmatically, we need to write a client to it too. So, okay, so let's see. Let's go back in here and do this, right? We will now take the price, right? Let's do something from the command line. We take the price and send it to the pulsar by topic. So let's see how to do it. Let me copy in this giant thing. Now again, is ugly time, meaning that I'm just hard coding things in here. But the idea is, okay, let's do this. We know this works, right? So that was the messages. Now, the thing is, in this particular case, right, we're keeping the rest of the stuff right now. Let's hard code it for now. We don't worry so much the fancy stuff. message here in this case we're gonna say price. I think that should work, right? Because it takes it from the command line from my shell to kind of pass it in. It should be taking the price, and then we're gonna publish this directly to the topic. Is what we're gonna do. Okay. Now another thing is, so we can let's do the manual subscription. Okay, let's not get way too complicated. So um, let's do this. Okay, so now we want to be able to then run this script. And wait, where's my script? Is the purple one. Okay, add price. Okay, and okay, let's kind of look at this. We will also do another manual subscription. We'll peek. Okay, let's just like peek message right now. Let's run and price. All right. So add one price. So let's say we say, how about 234? Oh, wait, something is not found. Oh, oh, that's right. Because, my script too, I haven't set the, all right, let's be a little bit fancier in here, right? So let's say, let's say actually set, sorry, my home directory, tools, Apache, browser. I think it's 210. Let me see. Um, this one I haven't. Oh, let me kind of go back here. Actually, Pulsar 291. Okay, right now it's already 210. I just haven't upgraded it. Okay, 291. I like to do this. Actually, you know what? Oh, no. Let me do it like this. How does it look? So we have now Pulsar client and then calling these different things. And of course I can do it like a little fancier, but for now I just wanted to kind of, you know, make this a variable, kind of like, make it better. So, all right, so this should work, right? Okay, so let's do this. Let's run this from my script here. All right, let's say 223. Let's do it. All right, here. Huh, this is interesting. Uh, close. I wonder. Huh, so it doesn't clear it. It looks like my messages is still there. Let me, you know what? But it's gone through because it's grown, right? I have 23. Backlog size. I think here we go. There's just probably like a delay, but then the peak is still showing message position 1. I wonder if I say message position 2. Ah, there we go. So I have to tell it which message it is. So okay, so at least we know we can manually kind of do it, and it is working. So it's basically coming in, have it as 2. But there's definitely, it looks like it's a blocking type of kind of transmission, isn't it? I mean, it should actually be, you publish, the subscription should, happen sooner, right? So why is it like taking so long? But in any event, programmatic side too, you can actually do producer, you can do a producer send, and so that's actually a producer send. The send is doing asynchronous, is kind of a blocking. It actually waits before it's sent. But you can also do asynchronous send. Is basically, again, right, is asynchronous. So it should actually be a little faster. I wonder too, the producer side, if there's actually, you can specify I want a asynchronous send too. So we can also take a look too. I don't think actually Pulsar client. Oops, is it man pages? Oh, oh, because I don't have this one. I don't have. Actually, that's what I should send set in my path here now. So, all right. So here, and what was I trying to look for? Now I forgot. Okay, so there we go. Consume. I want to look at produce. So we have chunking. You can actually split the message and publish in chunks if the message size is larger than allowed max size. You can have encryption key name, encryption key value, comma separated file paths to send, and and then the key schema, key value encoding type, the messages, number of times you send the messages too. So we can actually do a loop in here on the command line to properties to add the rate at which to produce. But it's interesting. I thought I should be able to also say I want to send it asynchronous. I do want to, but it doesn't have it. It appears not on the Pulsar command line, way of doing things. So I just let me show it to you too, because on the actually let me see Pulsar client. Okay, because you can actually do Pulsar maybe concepts in here, messaging, and you can actually send modes. See, the send modes is what I'm trying to be showing you, is that send modes, you can send it to broker synchronously or asynchronously. So the async side, right, that's what I was hoping, is producer puts a message in a blocking queue and returns it immediately. So the client library will send the message to the broker in the background, and if the queue is full, and then then the producer is blocked, right, or false immediately when calling the API, depending on arguments passed to the producer. But in this case, I shouldn't be expecting too much of an issue. I'm just doing baby steps right now. But let's say if I have like tons of things going on and there are tons of messages waiting in queue, it's basically I want the producer, as a producer, I want to just say, okay, this is a send, it's there in the queue, and I'll go kind of return. I won't be blocked, and basically, and putting in a queue, the queue itself is blocked, but my producer can return immediately. So, but the thing is, though, it's kind of strange, right? But it's a little slow because I publish it, and it seems like the publish comes, but from the subscription side to it, it's a little slow, is what I think. So I'm not sure what that is. It could also be because it's is blocked to my broker. It might have been kind of in a wait state, so that's kind of delayed in actually sending out the messages to the consumer. That could be, right. So anyway, so and how long have I been? Oh, I've been like doing this for an hour and a half, and I'm not sure. And looks like maybe Fusnabo is already too late for you. I think I in this case I think I will take a break. In this case, it's been like an hour and a half. At least I think we can say, okay, I've done this part in which but it's all scripting at this point. So sorry guys if you don't like scripting, like Fusnabo not liking scripting, but sometimes scripting is kind of a necessary thing to do. It is convenient, right? So So essentially, that's just what I've done, right? So far, it's just automating it and doing it like one at a time. I publish a price and then send it to the topic like that. So here it is. I think what we can do is basically, essentially, uh, collect all of the input interactively. Let's say from the market maker, collectively group them together, and then once we have it, then I should be able to actually publish it publish it as a file, right? So let's kind of take a look. I mean, I still have some time to, because over here, right, over here, for example, doing it on a command line, right, I can actually produce messages to a specified topic. And I can basically use the dash F options for the producer. Basically, has a comma separated file paths to send. Either dash M or dash F must be specified. Okay, so if I don't tell it to do the messaging one at a time, I have to say a file. But in terms of the file too, that's interesting. Number of times. Okay, all right. So I wonder, my file is comma separated file paths to send. So I wonder what this file is, right? Okay, how about we take a look? Because this would mean what I can do too is basically collect, if I'm like having a market maker, some interface, I can tell the market maker to give me a list of prices that it is ready. So on my side, when I collect it, I just group them all together before, and then maybe put it into a file, and essentially then make one call to the Pulsar client and send this file over. So then, it takes the file and process things rather than keep kind of calling, per price. I want to make, one call per price. That's going to have a lot of round trip too. So I might want to group them all into one single file and then call the Pulsar client once. But let's take a look too, and how do I do it, right? If I have all of these prices inside a file. So essentially, producer, if I can kind of like producer, send modes, access mode, compression, batching. See, here we go. When batching is enabled, right, the producer accumulates. Let me kind of make it a little bigger. It looks kind of a little small in here, right? And I'll make this side a little smaller. So we can actually batch it. So the producer accumulates and sends the batch of messages in a single request. And the batch size is defined by the maximum number of messages and the maximum published latency. Therefore, the backlog size represents the total number of batches instead of the total number of messages. So it is very true too. We can actually specify a backlog size, right? So that will kind of help to determine to how, the rate of how fast you want to kind of like send messages over to the broker. So in Pulsar, the batches are tracked and stored as single units rather than as individual messages. So consumer unbundles a batch into individual messages. However, scheduled messages configured through the deliver at or the deliver after parameter are always sent as individual messages, even batching is enabled. Oh, that is interesting. So those are for scheduled messages. Okay, so all of these things, right? As you can see, it's not like very simple in here. But the thing is, too, I'm kind of wondering is how do I specify my file, right? My file is comma separated, but the content of my file, I wanted to see how I'm supposed to do it. Okay, so we can actually get into all of these details too. Let me see. Actually, let's kind of go back in here. It's just about sending. Okay. Okay, so now we actually are going to get into some of these details, right, of the messaging piece, right? As you can see, the default size of a message is 5 MB, and you can configure the max size of a message with the following configuration. So basically we can specify in bytes the maximum message size. So let's see. Let's take a look at what the default is in here, right? So if you remember on my installation, I've conf. Let's take a look at the. Actually, it's a broker. Let's take a look at. Okay, so there is maximum number of tenants. It's max pending publish requests per connection. Maximum number of namespaces per tenant. Maximum topics per namespace. Broker max connections. Okay, what I'm trying to look for is the maximum message size. Yeah, I thought that should be in there. I think if you don't specify, oh, it's a lot of max kind of, oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Max message size is basically a 500, or actually 5 megabytes, right? 500 is 5 million is a million. Okay, that's right. 5,242,880. That's the max size of messages for that. So, and then there's also bookkeeper too. That's the bookkeeper conf and all of these things. So, okay, so at least we know where to look for all of these things. So, producer, like I said in here, but I just wanted to see, right, how messages. Maybe I'll go back to messages in here. Basic unit of pulsar. The following table lists the components of messages. The data carried by the message, all pulsar messages contain raw bytes, right? Although message data can also conform to data schemas. Now, schemas is something I think I quickly went over at one of my episodes here on Twitch. Maybe it's about time to kind of revisit them too at some point. But right now too, with this trading example, it's going to take me a few episodes to kind of go through all of it, but it's kind of good to know too. Schemas too, we can essentially also have schemas help us, but actually for this particular example of topics, doing buy and sell, all we are concerned with is the pricing, right, that's being injected into the topic. So maybe no need to worry about schemas for now, and maybe we'll just have even like very simple, kind of prices, simple like double or float, some decimal kind of number format too. It doesn't have to be too fancy. And then over here, producer name, topic name, schema version, sequence ID, message ID, published time, and then messages. The timestamp is automatically applied by the producer. Yeah, event time. So there's a differences too. There's a difference between in messaging systems, right? There's publish time is when the message is published, so that's automatically timestamped, by the producer. Then there's event time is an optional timestamp attached to a message by the applications. So, for example, applications attach a timestamp on which the message is processed too. So we can actually have, you can be in the queue, that's the published time, but it comes time to actually being processed, then the applications can also stamp it too, and essentially you can kind of keep track of it that way too. So in this case too, we could, in our message, we might want to say is the published time when the messages get published to the queue, and maybe that's the one we can do. Now I'm still kind of trying to figure out. Okay, here we are. If we send batching it all up, so go back to batching. So the producer accumulates, right, and sends a batch of messages in a single request. So that's what I wanted to do. The single request will make the round trip a lot less, kind of hectic. It's just one, and then it's kind of batch them all up. And okay, so chunking, there's no need to worry about it because all we are just sending small bytes of data of prices as they come in. So So there's this, all of these, feel free to read about this too, all of these, right? So all of the messages, right? Let me kind of send this page to you. So then you can kind of take a look into, if you're interested, right? Also, let me kind of put it in here. It's like Pulsar document documentation on messages, right? And then all of these. So over here. So that's the page that I was kind of reading from. So if you're interested, right? Okay, so or you can kind of look right into pulsar.apache.org/docs. We'll have all of the information as well. So, okay, again, have done this for almost like an hour and 45 minutes. So I think it's probably the time to stop at this point. Now, next week, I actually will be at another conference. This time is in New York City. So if you're in New York City, let me know. Oh, maybe App Boy too. App Boy is based in New York. I should see if App Boy wants to stop by. And certainly, if you are in New York City and you want to stop by, it's called API Days. Let me know, because I believe that I am as a speaker, and also DataStax is a sponsor of the event. So we have a limited number of free passes for folks who want to join. So you can let me know, right? And also, let me share with you again my Discord server if you haven't already connected with me there, and if you want to connect with me there. Where's my Discord? Okay, so that's my Discord server over here on the top. Oh, actually, it doesn't come out very good here. Okay, so my Discord server, if you want to join me, and let me know if you like a pass to go to the New York City API Days conference next week, is on, let's see, 26, 20, 27, and 28. So Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday, I may be able to do this stream. It all depends, because again, DataStax has a booth there. So I'm hoping to be able to do some demo at the booth and showing folks how you can use Astra streaming using Pulsar, talking to folks and all of these things. So, I mean, as such, Pulsar is still a relatively new library platform, streaming platform, that a lot of folks probably are discovering it. So, all right. So, well, with that, I want to thank you. And I think maybe it's already late for Fusnabo. I think it's 20, let's see, you're almost like midnight there. So thank you, Fusnabo, for having stopped by. It was great seeing you. Thank you so much. And if I see you online, I'll follow you. I'll watch your episode next time when you do the shading, right? So, all right. So thank you very much, everyone. And I hope to see you. If not next week, I'll try to update you on my Discord server, whether I can stream or not, or maybe I can do it a bit later too. If not, for sure, I think the week after I will be online and hope to do more focus, another one of these focus episode. Now what we have done today is have a topic and publish to the topic directly taken from the command line. So, and then using bash script. So pretty primitive, only one price at a time. So next time we're going to batch it up and do in chunks. And then also, if I have time, let me kind of do an interactive one, maybe do it like a JavaScript, a simple JavaScript UI, we can do that too. And take that chunk of data and send it over to Pulsar. So that's the goal. And with that, thank you very much. I want to wish you all well and hope you are all enjoying the summer. If you are in the Northern Hemisphere, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you're having a good winter, I guess, not too cold. And over here, cool. Everybody stay cool. All right. You all take care. Okay. Bye.